Are you wanting to, you want an executive session on this?
Up to you.
I think we probably should for, Lisa, what do you recommend? Sensitive information?
Probably,
Okay.
yeah.
How long?
Oh, do
We can do as long, we got until 9:30.
9:30, yeah.
2:15, if we come out early, that's
Yeah.
Yeah,
fine.
that's fine.
It's fine.
I make a motion that we go into executive session to discuss sensitive information, including the commissioners, Lisa, Vanessa, and Lisa.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.
The reason that we've invited you guys to come today, we've been talking as a commission about getting out of the township maintenance business. And we didn't want to do anything without talking to the townships. We invited St. John here, but they all had stuff going, I guess. So we wanted to talk to you guys about it instead of just slamming it on one way or the other. We feel, or I feel, that we're not giving the taxpayers what they deserve in our township as far as our quality of maintenance is good, but I think how often our maintenance happens is our problem. I get quite a few calls just as a commissioner because I think there's a lack of understanding. People complain about the roads, they call the commissioner because the county takes care of them. And there's a lack or segregation of duty, I guess, or something's going on to where it's, they complain to the county gets a bad rap if we're not down there after a rain. And our problem is that generally our rains in the summer, most of our guys are busy either patching or mowing somewhere, and we're finding that we have less and less time to do townships. And we're trying to just look at the best way to go forward. So I guess we obviously haven't made a decision about this. We obviously wanted to talk to you guys about it. But what are your initial thoughts on taking the township back? Do you feel that it's do you feel that it's just a task that couldn't be completed, or what?
Well, I think so. I mean, you have basically why we came to you to do it is because we couldn't get the help to drive and maintain and do it properly. They complained whether we were across the road fast enough or not after a rain or snow.
Yeah.
So that their solution hasn't changed,
Yeah.
whether it's go county or not.
Mhm.
So, but you guys are able to give them more benefits than us anyway, because you get medical insurance and 401k, retirement benefits and everything else, and we can't supply that.
Yeah.
And then tree trimming and able to put the rocks on and everything else, where I think the roads have gotten better.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, there's gonna be improvements no matter what. I mean,
Yeah. I think that if we do stay taking care of townships, we're probably gonna have to look at another rate hike. And eventually, either the taxpayers are gonna suffer because you can't afford to do enough hours, or there's a teeter-totter where having your own equipment is a lot cheaper. And I think we're right there, because right now, we are just, I'm not even sure if we're breaking even. We might be losing money doing townships. And
with diesel fuel up and everything else.
yeah,
possibly.
I think right now we are losing money. We depreciate a grader between 35 and 40 bucks an hour. And then it costs us over 35 to put an operator in it. So we're up at around 80 before any maintenance or fuel or repairs or, anything. And the cost of graders have just went through the roof.
Yeah,
So
they finally caught up with combines.
But you can't get a grader just the next day.
Yeah,
So,
what we're trying to keep from, I guess, is in the future, we're trying to keep from more townships coming our direction for help. And We're worried about the next township that comes to us because we can't take on anymore.
We can't take on a third township. That's my main problem.
Without doing some significant changes at the road and bridge department, we can't take on anymore. Okay, I mean, we can barely do what we're doing now. So, when that
I
third,
mean, some of these townships are getting less and less people in it.
Yeah, I know.
You take Union beside us, I mean, Norman and Mary are on the township board, and, I mean, they're in their nineties.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, there's not too many people in that.
yeah. So, you know, that's another thing we struggle with is what do we tell Union when they come to us in 6 months and say, hey, you're gonna have to take over our township, or would you like to? When we say no, and they say, well, you're already doing two, what's the deal? And then other taxpayers would say, if you're losing money, then we're subsidizing a township, you know, Rose Valley or St. John with our tax dollars, because if we're losing money taking care of it as a county entity, all the tax dollars are going to the county, and then if we're losing money taking care of a township, other townships are subsidizing the ones that we're taking care of. So that's another issue.
Well, everybody in the county subsidizing what you mean, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. I'd like to see you guys raise your mill down there to where you have more of a budget. And I'd like you to talk to maybe one of your townships next to you and see, because there's certain times of the year, like when we're overlaying, that July, August, is that about it? July, August?
September.
Yeah, when we're overlaying. And I mean, we don't have enough guys now because a lot of the times they get Ryan Witt off Noxious Weed to come help on overlay. So there's certain times of year, it don't matter how much rain you guys get down there, how bad the roads are, we cannot get down there. If you could raise your mill to where you had a little more money, and then you might be able to get one of the townships closer to you to come in, and if you get a problem in July, August, they might come over and grade the roads once or fix some holes. You know, that would probably alleviate a lot of the complaints, you know, down there.
You know, we tried to go with another township, and they weren't willing to do that. We even tried to put 3 townships together.
Yeah,
yeah,
So I
And
mean,
that's when we changed to the county then.
yeah.
yeah.
So,
But you
I
know,
feel-
just as far as talk to them and ask them if we,
Yeah.
you know, pay them the same rate that you're paying the county and just say, will you come over and put in 10 hours? I mean,
Yeah, that can be done, yeah. Whether or
I
not,
think-
whether or not that'll work or not, I don't know.
Yeah,
The problem right now is that we would be financially unable to get a grader and, you know, even try to find somebody and pay them to run the maintainment and take care of the roads. So that's the big issue right at the moment, so.
yeah.
I have no problem with raising the rate, and we'll just do what we can with the roads.
Yeah. What do you levy total? Is it around 100,000?
No, we get 142.
142.
I was
That's
gonna
what-
say, we've never come close to burning, I mean, to using most of your money in a year, have we?
No, I
No,
usually.
last year.
I usually like last year I had like 60,000 left, I think, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so you guys are able to put away a little bit of money in your capital outlay fund?
Yeah, we've got extra money, you know, some, but basically it's just year to year. I mean, we don't have much reserve, so.
It looks like we're maintaining, now not building roads or hauling rock. We're spending about 450 hours a year in Rose Valley grading the roads, maintaining. And if you pay a guy $30 an hour, that's only $13,500 in labor cost to maintain,
Yeah, if you find a guy.
if you can find the guy.
Yeah.
I think money solves finding a guy. That's my opinion. I could be wrong.
I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of places out there trying to.
No, I agree, but I think money solves it, or it comes dang close to solving it. I just, with $142,000 in levy, I don't see how 13,500 for, and I get that you're mowing, you're tree clearing, you're, you know, hauling sand or pulling ditches, but I don't get how, you know, if, right now you can get a decent enough grader for 150,000, would you agree with that?
Probably. We'd probably be, you know, probably gonna have.
You know, you'd be looking at around 25,000 a year in grader payment.
Because then you're gonna be getting, if you're gonna do mowing and hauling, you know,
Yeah.
then you have it.
Which some townships sub out there, like Douglas subs out their mowing.
Yeah.
And as a county, I don't think that we're against doing contract, you know, specific jobs. I don't know if we take on mowing, but, you know, we go work for other townships all the time.
Well,
For
I
somebody,
had a township call last fall, wanted to know if we wanted to do some mowing for them, I just said, no.
yeah,
The problem is, I mean, you can't get anybody to do anything for under 15, 20 bucks an hour. But like on a township, if you made the offer, you guarantee them 40 hours a week, you pay them 20 bucks an hour, that's basically 42,000 a year. I don't know if you guys have ever offered that out, but I mean, somebody that can basically be their own boss, and you pay them, you guarantee them that, because there's some months or some weeks where you can't grade because it's too dry, and then when they do get the rain, then they might be putting in 50 or 60 hours.
what we did last year, we graded the roads on July 8th and 9th last year, and we did not grade the roads again until September 7th and 8th. So we went 60 days through the heart of the summer without grading. And as a taxpayer in Rose Valley, and I think I speak for a lot of taxpayers that own land in Rose Valley, going 60 days in the middle of the summer without grading and holding money, you know, being able to hold money over, not spending all the money, is unacceptable. Now, whose fault that is, I don't know, but then we didn't, you know, we graded September 8th and 9th, and then we didn't grade again until October 26th and 7th. So we graded essentially twice through the summer. And I'm not sure, you know, you look at some other townships close that own their own grader, they're arguably grading too much, like 900 hours a year. So I think we've got something to figure out. I don't know the right way. I know the right way wasn't just making a motion and passing it without talking to you guys at all. So I hope you can at least see why we had you in to talk about it, but
I appreciate it, but it's almost sounds like maybe we're at fault not supplying what the taxpayers want in our township. I mean, we turned it over to the county. I mean, we call them to try to do things,
yeah,
stuff like that, I mean.
If Bill does the best job he can.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
That's-
think,
yeah.
there's no one that says, I don't think you'll find anybody that says that when the county gets down there to grade, that they do a bad job. No one calls the day after the roads are graded and said, wow, this is a terrible job
Yeah.
grading the roads.
Yeah.
I get the calls where, you know, last summer, when they weren't graded for 60 days, because we're overlaying, you know, we're busy. If we get an inch rain tonight, the county has to get over the chewed up blacktops that we have that have problems, and then we have St. John Township, which is right next to St. John, so inevitably, Rose Valley generally gets the last. And if we get an inch rain tonight, by the time we get down there, it's dry again. And then by the time we're patching and mowing and doing the things that we have, we just don't get down there. And I'm not sure that our taxpayers are getting the bang for their buck right now.
The other issue is when you're finding a maintainer person, you're gonna have to have somebody that knows what the hell they're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And that makes it even more hard, you know,
I don't-
to find someone, right, Bill?
I mean,
you
I
can't
think
just-
that-
You can't just turn anybody loose on the grader.
yeah, I think that's your biggest challenge, is finding somebody. I don't think, with 142,000, you could at least,
Township, we was paying $20 per hour.
I think the
That
township-
You're gonna find somebody.
yeah, I'm saying
I don't know.
that, yeah, I'm saying that's your biggest challenge.
Who's
As-
their operator?
If we were to get out of the township business completely, I think your biggest mountain would be finding someone. I don't think with the 142,000, you couldn't purchase a grader and make grader payments, or you couldn't pay for some rock, you know, or pay to haul some sand or clay. I think that finding the person would be your biggest challenge. I think to take on that challenge, money solves quite a bit of that. Could be wrong, but
But can you guys actually, I mean, if you have another township or you have 2 townships already, if you think you're gonna take on 1 or 2 more townships, can you buy a grader? You say you can buy a grader for $150,000 and pay somebody. Can you put another grader out there just to do township roads?
I don't
I
know
think,
where the 150,000 come in, but the grader that we bid on was 285 and we got outbid on it.
yeah, but that's an all-wheel drive, brand new one
Yeah.
with 500 hours. I'm talking like 2015 with 2,000 hours on it. I mean, he
Yeah.
was talking a trade with
Yeah,
2,000 hours right at $200,000.
199.5, that's what it was.
But I'm not so sure even if we bought another grader and got another guy hired on, if he wouldn't end up doing the overlay. Because right now, we're already hauling sand for the overlay, aren't we?
Yeah, they're mixing now.
So if we got an inch of rain tonight, are you gonna be able to send guys down there? Is everybody getting geared up for overlaying?
We will not start till next week, so.
Yeah.
Right now, yeah, we could probably take care of things.
So I mean, I see the biggest problem is you guys need to make it, you guys need to do whatever you can to try to get a township to cover that 2 months. Because we ain't gonna be able to get that 2 months is the problem. That's the way I see it.
So you guys would cover the rest of the months.
Pardon? If we're doing like we're doing, I mean, I don't have a problem keep going the way we're going.
Well, last time it got wet, I don't know that we got down and did a lot. I'm not gonna say we did because I don't think we did because we were in the middle of reforming our roads. One in front of your house and then Southwest Road and then we were over on Zenith Road. So therefore I had everybody busy doing that.
Yeah.
So I don't think we probably got down there. If we did, it was too late. I think.
Yeah.
Here's what-
It is just one of them deals
Yeah.
where we're not
Here's
typically
what I
that
don't-
busy in the spring, but
Here's what I don't like about the setup, and this could be right or wrong, this is my opinion, but the setup with it, us being a county entity, a public-owned entity, taking care of another public-owned entity's property, is that there's no clear, and you guys set the mill and set the budget, but we're ultimately in charge of taking care of it. To me, that's too many chiefs and not enough Indians, and I could be wrong, but that's the way I see it, because you guys are a board and you're in charge of your township. And Phil and us 3 are in charge of road and bridge. And there's not a clear accountability system. When a taxpayer calls about a road that's messed up, if they call you guys will say, well, we'll get Phil to take care of it. If Phil's busy doing county stuff, we don't get down there to take care of it, and then the taxpayer loses. So I don't know where we can come together to figure the problem out. If you had your own operator and your own grader, you'd send them down there and take care of it right away. So it would automatically get taken care of. Right now, there's a chance that a problem doesn't get taken care of because we're busy doing county stuff that comes before township work. Is that fair to you? That's a question that remains to be answered, I guess.
when we first did that, we made that stipulation and I think they understood that.
Yeah,
It's
we
just all the
understand that.
landowners that don't.
Yeah, it is.
I will be the first to say that the east side of Rose Valley is better than it was when we took over. The
Yeah,
wet,
I mean, the roads are better.
the roads are better, and there's been a lot of rock hauled. I mean, I have the bills. You guys have spent, there's no question that you haven't spent money on rock.
Because the access of getting trucks, grain out of that area to the highway or county roads is a lot better than what it was.
Yeah.
Tree trimming and stuff like that's better.
Yeah,
I mean, stuff like, mowing and weeds and stuff like that, I mean, it's better.
And
yeah.
building roads is, we never did.
Uh,
You know, when you guys took over, I mean, that was the drastic improvement that happened.
Mhm.
They were really bad.
Yeah,
What's
We
our,
had 2 or 3 different maintainer guys, and, you know, that's why we made the decision to go with the county. Because we thought we would get better service, and we did, than what we were giving.
what's our hourly rate we charge on a grader now?
It's 110, isn't it?
110.
Stuff that's what we went up to this year. I know what we went up to.
I haven't got the bills
I
for a
don't
while.
with me, so.
Yeah.
I mean, I was just wondering if you guys are able to carry over some money. If you talked to the townships next to you and said, we'll pay you $110 or $150 an hour to come
Yeah.
into our township and grade a few roads, you know, when we have problems during the middle of the summer.
I'm willing to
I
do
mean, I
that.
think
Yeah.
that would alleviate some of the complaints Bryce gets. And I mean, it'd probably help the county out a little bit.
I think that Ohio would take over the east side of Rose Valley today.
Well, I know, I've
And
seen
what-
the minutes and stuff like that,
and
they
what-
said they're on
yeah.
the east side, but, well, why don't they want the, why,
Which-
if you don't get
which
the
one,
2
the west
months,
side?
why didn't you do the whole?
Yeah, I
township?
don't think they wanna do the west, I don't think, and I think they're right. I don't think one guy can get across two. And maybe you can, I don't know, it just seems like the ground, I mean, you guys know better than anybody, you're down there, it drains pretty quick and it gets dry just as fast as it got wet. And I'm not sure, you know, right now, when I was on Ohio, Rusty could get across Ohio in 2.5 days. So, you know, maybe you could get Ohio and Rose Valley in a week's time, I don't know.
He's got quite a few blacktop roads.
Yeah, so you might be able to get across it in a week's time. I think that Ohio is looking for a way to supplement hours for their operator to, you know, to be able to pay more. Whether that makes money or not, I'm not sure, I don't know. I mean, I don't want you guys to think that I'm just shooting from the hip, because I've actually looked through the stuff. I've ran the numbers on depreciation, what we have in it. I mean, I don't want you to feel like I'm just running around like an Indian, crazy Indian, just, you know,
Well, I know.
trying to just stir things up. I mean, I'm trying to do what I think's best.
I mean, if we
But I'm
could-
not sure that Ohio's gonna make a bunch of money. They may be able to pay their operator more and supplement their operator's income, but I don't know that they're gonna be making money if they charge what we charge, because we're not making money. And I'm not saying that we should be making money, but we should definitely be covering our expenses.
Yeah, I think you should be covering your expenses and making a little bit extra as far as that goes, but that's I mean, you gotta send the bills, so,
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, if it's a solution, if you wanna have us get somebody in 2 months, in the summertime to maintain roads and stuff like that, and what the big issue is too, I mean, we have these oil activity down there, when it's wet and everything, they just tear the roads all to hell.
yeah,
So trying to find a grader to go right behind those guys, or somebody needs to pay.
mhm,
So I
yeah.
mean, I don't know where what your solution is on that, but.
Yeah,
I mean, you have to have a haul rock and stuff like that on some of it just to
yeah,
get it back into shape.
yeah,
That's where the township next to you would have a little more flexibility as far as you calling up and saying, hey, we got a problem over here. Could you be down here tomorrow or the next day? With the county, that ain't gonna happen.
Well,
Certain
they've
time.
been able to just respond pretty good when I've called them,
Yeah.
Todd, so I mean, I'm not saying that they're not responding,
Yeah.
that's. But if you wanna
Okay.
try the solution of 2 months, that we try to find somebody else, you all right with that, Rick? or-
Yeah, I don't know, maybe Albano might do some of the other part on our,
You
on
might
that
see if one
side.
of them can't do a little bit on the one side, one of them can't do a little bit on the other side. I'm pretty sure you're not gonna get much out of Union. I'm not sure Bruce is in very good
No.
shape.
Yeah.
No, I think-
Last time I saw him, Bruce went.
No, he's not, so.
So,
I think a full-time operator could do 1.5 pretty easy, and I like that solution. Because if you guys feel that you can't financially take it on, I mean, at the end of the day, there is no tax lid. You can levy as much money as you want. You have to do a revenue neutral rate hearing, but you can levy, like, to say that you can't do it financially, that shouldn't exist, because
How
you,
much burden you wanna put on your taxpayers in that?
They're already, you know, taxes
Yeah.
are already high.
I know, but
They
if-
don't wanna pay any
what I-
more.
yeah,
They
what I-
like to yell about the roads.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, if
But
you're
they
getting
don't,
yelled
they
by,
don't
Tell
wanna
the
pay
other
any more
end.
money.
yeah,
So-
yeah, I think that if they're gonna yell about the roads, they shouldn't care about the tax burden.
Well, they're going to.
Well, I'll guarantee.
You know, it's a push
They're
pull, do you
looking
see, do you see what I'm saying? It's a push
I
pull,
know
and if
it
they're,
is, Bryce.
if they're griping right now, then I don't see how you could gripe if it went up a little bit and you were getting across them every 2 weeks. And maybe they still would, but there's a push-pull. If you pay more, you should get more service. And right now, I think the taxes are already high, and we don't get down there enough. I don't think that can be argued with. I mean, the proof is in the paper. You know, July to 60 days, and then another 45 days. That's not enough grading.
That's
And-
true.
And I think maybe we've solved that, but that's not enough for those sandy roads.
Okay, yeah, true. I mean, we need to probably make some corrections in the summertime, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But on the same sense, you're saying roads have improved.
Yeah,
On
the
the
east
other
side
way, you need
has
to have-
improved.
And they need to make more time grading out there because the taxpayers are getting pissed.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you, is the oil companies or oil bringing revenue into the townships?
Absolutely, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
they're
helps your
being
valuation.
taxed.
I know.
Your valuation.
I mean, I can just,
Royalty tax and all that.
I can just speak for myself, but our tax liability has, I mean, in 1 year, I'd hate to even say.
It will go up this year too, won't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's in the tens
get
of
money.
thousands.
Yeah, but some of them, I think they were saying that some of them get exempt.
Some of them are exempt,
Oh,
just
stripper
based on stripper wells, but the new oil activity that you're talking about, that, you know, the drilling activity, I guess, is without depletion allowances, there's an extreme tax liability. I mean, it's in the tens of thousands just for our company, and that's, I can only speak for myself, but I don't think you're losing out, and that, obviously that money gets divvied out. You don't get, I say tens of thousands, you're not getting tens of thousands because it's divvied out to the county and to the township and the cemetery and blah, blah, blah. I mean, it goes every which direction. But I don't think the new drilling activity is, you're losing money, I guess, based on the new drilling activity.
But when does it start
Specifically in
getting
Rose Valley.
into the township? Does it take a year before they start?
Yeah, so
Taxes.
so oil and gas revenue is 2 years behind. So right now, the tax that I pay in December on oil and gas would be from 2 years ago production.
In the
So-
price.
Yeah,
So
So-
for a couple of years, it's gonna be
No,
cheaper.
well, no, that price was set in January.
well, yeah, the price is set in January, but I'm saying based on the production, you're behind.
Yeah,
You're,
yeah, he was saying, he
Yeah.
thought maybe that was tied to the price 2 years ago.
yeah, you're behind a year past what property, like land is. Oil and gas is another year behind. So, I mean, I can say on one lease down there, we paid $20,000 in tax in 1 year. So, I mean, it's getting divvied up, but yeah, it's significant.
How much of that do you reckon goes to the township? I remember when I was on the township board, I mean, we got our statements that basically said, you know, what come from ground, what come from motor vehicle, what come from oil and gas.
Oh, special city highway and all that. Is it divided out like that, Lisa?
Yes, when they get their distributions on their remittance sheet, it's broken out as to what kind of tax they're
Can you
gonna
bring
pay.
that up on your computer? What their distribution was from oil last year?
Let me see if I can get in.
You know, the state sets the price of oil one time a year. And the oil companies definitely get at least in my opinion, and a big break on that.
It has been this year, but it's.
It can be an
it could turn
advantage,
around to
yeah, it can be
south.
an advantage or a disadvantage, because during COVID, we had a $45 oil price set by the state, and oil went negative $37, and if that would have been a moving average throughout the year, the county's valuation would have changed significantly, but we were at 45 for the whole year. And then there's other times that it's, say, at 45 and the price goes crazy, and, you know, our value should have went up, but it's the same for that year.
I would
So-
say year in, year out, their price is usually about $20 a barrel under what the actual
Yeah.
average
At
is.
least, yeah.
And then that one year when it did take the big dip, I mean, they set it, and then they came back and left it and lowered it.
Yeah, they lowered it again, which that was historically never.
And they never come and raise it,
No,
you know.
that's just the state.
yeah.
So we're not trying to-
It's their ball, we
Yeah.
just gotta play with it.
We're not trying to pick on you, we're just trying to find a solution to the problem that would help everybody. You know, and we do have, I asked you about your capital outlay. Now, this is hypothetically, in the past, we've had people saying, you know, you need to go to countywide graders, the county take everything. I'm totally opposed to that. And like St. John, I think they're a big pusher on that. If it ever does go to a countywide deal, everybody's gonna pay more taxes.
So, yeah, and you'll never get that to go. I mean, people in town aren't gonna vote for it. It'll have to go like Clay County, it will be county and townships. It'll be two budgets is what that county operates out of.
But see, I think why St.
They have
John,
all the roads, but they have to operate out of two budgets.
because I think like St. John Township, they feel like if we go countywide, that all the graders are gonna be in St. John, and as they leave town, they're gonna get the most grade. They don't realize that if it ever went countywide, we'd probably have 4 barns set up.
Yeah, you'd have to have them stationed out. You can't run graders all around the world.
And where Rose Valley already has ground bought that your shed's sitting on, if you have capital outlay to where you can build another shed there, you might have the possibility of getting 3 or 4 graders in Rose Valley and be
A hub,
a hub.
basically.
I know, there's people down there that said, I wish you guys would go county, because Pratt County's a heck of a lot better than.
But no, it ain't.
Well, no, Todd,
Yeah.
but that's what
Yeah.
people
That's what
are
they
saying
think.
down our way too, so I mean,
Yeah.
you can drive on the roads, it's 55, 60 miles an hour.
I can say for the people that I've talked to, there's a lot of people, a lot of taxpayers in this county that think that we should be all or none. And, I mean, that's just their opinion. That we either take care of all of them or we take care of none, because that's the way to keep it fair. I don't know if that's right or wrong.
I mean, I think everybody would sit here and agree, someday this system will not work.
But we do have, what, 220 miles of county roads in the county?
Well, with 252.
Excuse me, that's that 32.
So-
That they get.
So they.
210 of it are blacktop and then the 42 are
Here,
recycled.
yeah, let's see
Yeah.
what they got
I
going on.
don't know what you're gonna do with some of these townships, you're losing less people. I mean, York is no
Yeah.
different than Union.
Well, yeah, it's just like the bottom.
But yeah, you could basically add that up with that, and that's what
Everybody
they got
on
on
there.
current, but then you
Clear
also get
Creek,
into it.
Albano.
Well, Clear Creek doesn't have anybody right now that I know of. Albano's,
You get up in that area too,
and
northeast.
then Putnam,
Well, you get a Putnam or Saddle.
And I picked the January because that's a big
And then-
distribution.
And
and
Union.
the worst one is East Cooper. Their
Union
mill levy
has-
is nil. I mean, it's horrible.
And that's the problem with going countywide. I don't think that it would ever pass. I mean, you could say that it's a great idea all you want, but it has to pass the county vote, correct, Lisa?
Yeah.
If you were to go.
It would have to go to that other
So that's
system.
what you get, that's what you got in January, just from the oil.
And that's
There's
just
been
the,
some other ones besides
yeah,
that.
that's just the January
You know,
distribution.
you usually get 3 or 4
I
distributions.
picked the January, you get 5 a
That's
year,
the
that's the
biggest
big
one.
one.
Oh, yeah.
Uh-huh.
That's the biggest one.
Yeah. So maybe 10% total comes from oil. I
You
don't
guys
know.
you don't have a lot of production down there?
Not a lot.
A lot of it's stripper well production.
Well, that's why.
Any well that's produced under, what, 5 barrel a day is
That's right.
considered a stripper well and is tax exempt.
Yeah.
That's bad. And there's a lot of companies that if it's right on the borderline, they shut off to where they stay under that 5 barrel a day.
Mhm. Yeah.
So how long do we have to make this solution?
Tomorrow.
Yeah, well, the reason,
Yeah.
the reason that I've been at least talking about this and working on it lately is because it's budget time. And if we were to make a decision to be out of the township business completely, it isn't fair to you to do that in August or September. Because if we were to make a decision to do something, it would be my vote to take care of it until the end of the year regardless, to get you to the end of the year. You know, that would,
Our budget's already been set.
so you've already done your budgeting for this,
Yeah,
for '23?
right.
Okay,
It's done.
okay,
It's probably published.
okay.
So can we work on a deal or try to find somebody for the 2 months?
Yeah, I mean, I
And
think,
then go that route and try
I
to
would-
get back with you later or something?
I'd really try to do that and see if that works out, and, you know, if it works out good,
Helps with some of the,
yeah.
Does Alabama have an operator?
Yeah, yeah, Alabama does.
Alabama
I'd
does.
get really serious about trying to find that 2-month deal. You
You're
know,
talking what,
Because I know Ohio
now
is
this
talking
month to
about.
August, or are you?
I would
Well,
always,
spring.
If you
I
can
would
work out
say
a-
go to the middle of September.
if you can, yeah, I mean, if you can get them worked out to where basically anytime you need the help, that you'll pay them the 110 or 120 an hour for a grader.
That's what I would say. I wouldn't put any time.
Yeah, I would put a certain month, I mean, in you know, anytime you guys have a problem, if you can call them, they'll come and help. I mean, it would alleviate a lot off the county, and I think it'd take care of a lot of the problems.
So all you guys are on board to doing that?
I am,
yeah, I mean, I think it would be a step in the right direction.
but I mean, if we come back next year and it's the same way and you can't get anybody to do anything, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the solution is then.
Yeah. I don't know.
Well, at least we would know that we probably would have to buy a maintainer and find somebody to run it.
Yeah. Go out there and buy a maintainer and offer somebody $52,000 to run it.
Yeah, that's
It'll
right.
make all your landowners happy except when they get the bill.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
I mean, that's your, I mean,
Right.
you know, you guys aren't
You have-
miracle
you-
workers.
You
I
have
mean, you
to
gotta.
see, you have to look at how much money we do get too, though.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of other townships that get a lot more money.
Oh, yeah, there's.
oh yeah, there's
Lot
townships that their
more.
January distribution for oil and gas is 30,000-40,000.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm just saying, we're in a kind of, not a bad position,
You're
but
probably
we're in
better
a
off than
limited
most.
position
Yeah.
of money.
Yeah,
And when you start jacking up the mill rate, then people are gonna yell.
Oh,
And they're
yeah.
gonna yell harder than that than their roads, I can tell you.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially when they went that reclassification and soil
Yeah,
down there.
and we got screwed down
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
yeah, I know.
We did,
Yeah.
No, you did,
Yeah.
I agree.
yeah.
If it
Because
makes
it
you
didn't have
feel,
an
if
impression.
it makes you
It
feel
No,
better
it
now,
didn't,
they're
yeah.
doing that,
Or
that
Pontiac.
Still
all the
haven't.
way up and
They're
down.
gonna screw you up there too.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
that's screwed
it's
too.
going to
That's
the
where a
whole,
guy did his
it's
damn job,
basically
and that
expanding
was
to the whole
it.
county.
See, they
We're not,
cracked all
we're not
the
gonna
back
change
roads
much in
and
Rose Valley because we already got it several years ago.
Yeah.
But they're basically doing that for the rest of the county. It's gonna affect 105,000 acres
Yeah.
in Stafford County.
But
Surely
we've
we
been
don't
hearing
have
for
that
that
much
for the
say
last
into
3 to
it.
5 years.
Huh?
We've been hearing that was gonna happen the last 3 to 5 years.
They'd say it's coming into effect in December, you'll see it. But they're prorating it over a 7-year period instead of all at once.
Where you guys
They
got
didn't
the,
us.
yeah, where
No.
you guys got the.
No, oh, yeah,
time
yeah, I
I
know.
mean, we could
It was
get pissed and
instant.
everything else to you guys, and
Yeah.
you guys wouldn't.
You know,
Well,
it was York,
Well, Rose Valley
Rose
was one.
Valley, York,
Rose Union,
Union. It was all.
probably Albany.
Albano, yeah. All the ones with blow sand that was a
Yeah.
lot more valuable for some reason.
How did that blow sand become, how did that sand become so much more
I have no
valuable?
idea.
I went and talked to Carl
I know
about
that I
that.
had 7
The,
acres.
my
on
highest
that
property
classification.
taxes on a piece of ground is my worst producing
And
ground.
I said, can I see
Is that right?
It's irrigated,
the weed
and I mean, I've got
production?
ground right next to it that
Well,
produces a
no.
lot more. That piece of ground, he said, is that special soil type that is good ground. You ride the combine, it ain't good ground.
You get that blow sand off there, then you can get down to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it costs a lot of money to get that blow sand.
But you know, as far as the valuation, the state sends out the dollar amount on the values, you know, what the ground is based on.
Yeah,
We have no say-so on
I
that.
know you don't.
We didn't pay for that, but.
And how that's determined is the soil conservation does the soil type, and then those surveys that you guys get, farmers get, you know, on how much money you made, then that goes into that deal. So when you get those surveys, you need to say you don't make no money.
Yeah, well,
Evidently, Southern Stafford County was making a heck of a lot that year, that year.
Yeah.
huh?
yeah. I ran some
Could we end up-
scenarios, yeah, I ran some scenarios on our ground in Rose Valley, and it's not hardly changing any with the reclassification, the consolidation and reclassification of some soil types, because we already got hit, and I assume you two are probably the same. You already got hit in the
I got
Carlisle
hit.
clay several years ago.
Like about.
But up in his area,
45,
there'll be
50%.
some circles that will double
Yeah.
over a 7-year period, double in property tax.
And then they took it to PVD and they turned it down. They said,
Yeah, I mean, there's people went all the way to Topeka.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was in on that, and they just laughed at you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Fraser
aggravating.
and State of Fraser and everything else. They just
Well, I
left.
don't think all anybody wants is just a fair playing field for everybody.
Yeah, that's all I was concerned
Yeah.
about.
That shouldn't have happened in the 1-year deal, you know, for you guys. that
It
big
just jumped up.
It should have done that, and it should have been for the whole county.
Some, one quarter I had doubled. Yeah.
Either that or make sure Pratt County was doing it.
Yeah.
I mean, you got down there and Pratt County
They
still
did.
has not done it.
They did nothing.
And they kept on telling us at the meetings and stuff, they're supposed to be doing it.
Mhm.
Well, they never did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, back to our situation. We're willing to try this, and we understand where you're coming from. And we're just gonna try to work to find a solution. Because right at the moment, you know, if we know that we're gonna have to switch over to have our own maintainer, our own help, at least we'll have a little bit of time to work on it. So is that the real?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
I think Ohio may be, and I mean, it's your guys' deal, but I think Ohio is willing to do some work.
Yeah,
Um,
and we'll just need to get,
And they're,
yeah.
you know, bordering you, so, I don't know. I think Albano is at capacity with, and you can talk to Craig and confirm, but
Yeah.
I think that they're more at capacity than what Ohio is, I guess, on.
Well, yeah, I don't think Tony actually wants to work that much, I don't think, so.
Yeah, well, it'd be Jack Davis now in Albano.
Oh, Jack does Albany?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's,
Yeah.
oh, you didn't know that?
Yeah, so the
Yeah.
Albano guy
Okay.
has quit or retired,
Okay.
so.
That's
yeah.
a trouble trying, people are
Norman,
fully sponsored.
Norman has some sort of.
Yeah, I
I
think
mean, it's,
I think that's what you about have to do, is find a retired guy that knows how to run a grader. And those
find them.
Yeah.
I think if you offered a young kid 42 or 52,000 a year, they'd be interested in doing it.
Well,
I don't,
it'd be interesting to see, I mean,
Yeah.
just because.
It takes a certain individual to
Yes,
be
it
able to be
does.
their
It'd
own
be-
boss
They're gonna have to
and
have some
sitting on
sort
a
of work
grader.
ethic to them,
Yeah,
and
And cutting
not all
trees.
those guys do.
yeah.
Mhm.
Most kids your age do not have your work ethic. They don't.
It's sad, but
I'm
true.
sorry, but
Yeah.
you know that's true.
Yeah.
And cutting brush, I mean, that's, I don't know. I noticed a lot of the townships up there, Douglas, and they hire that guy. I think he's from down there.
We got Gabe McCullen, he does
Yeah,
it.
that's what he does. I mean,
Yeah.
he did that up in Douglas
Well,
Township.
He's done our,
Does a
he's
good
done our
job.
roads. Yeah.
Okay. Well, thanks for coming in, guys.
Okay.
We appreciate it.
We'll work on it.
When does she want that list?
Well, I mean, our budget's, well,
Yeah, you could probably do it anytime. I think she was just kind of wanting to look at it while she was doing that.
Okay.
What she did, your 200, she moved to like transfer to special machinery. That's where
Oh,
she
okay.
classified it, since
Okay.
you're looking
Yeah,
at trying to
because that's
build
what it
up
was
for,
intended for,
yeah.
was a
Yeah.
purchase, yes.
But you could still put something together and send it to her, just so
Okay,
she
I will.
kind of has an idea.
So, just, yeah, I got a list.
yeah.
It helps her help
Okay.
us.
Thanks for coming in, guys.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Hey, when you are snooping around on Big Iron, if you see something on a dump truck or something, holler.
Those are few and far
I know,
between.
very difficult. I say, I will get with Jay about that other deal and see what he thinks about that. That might not be a bad deal, I don't know.
Yeah.
But when we start getting $8,000 hours on a grader, it starts making me pucker.
Yeah.
We've never went there, so.
Yeah,
other than the old-time graders we had. And I don't know that they had that many hours on it.
8,000 hours is a lot of hours on anything,
Yeah,
especially graders. And I don't know if these newer graders with all the electrical stuff on them is gonna last as
well,
good as the old ones.
and just for them to travel here and travel back's $500.
Yeah.
And that just gripes me no end. It does, it gripes me no end.
Oh, for them to check the monitors and stuff?
Well, no, not to check the monitors, but for Barry to come out here and work on one of the Komatsu machines. That's what the travel time is, period, here and back, so you pay for it. So
That's where your
Trip
bill
charge.
starts.
So,
Trip charge?
yeah, trip charge. And actually, I will say this, on the last grader, motor grader we bought, Foley had put an add-on with all the cross slope and that type of stuff on it. So it wasn't under the warranty. And we did have an issue with it. Jay thought it was under warranty, and I thought it was under warranty. So we get a bill for it, and I said, what's this? And they said, well, that was an add-on after the machine was brought in. So it's not covered.
Really?
But Foley did cover it. So that's something that we do need to
Yeah.
remember. I mean, they didn't have to.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I just wanted you guys to be aware of that.
Yeah, Jay talked to me about
Can
that.
you find
Well, I
fairly
figured
quickly
you did.
how
I mean,
much
you guys talked about this.
Ohio
Because
levies in a
They
year?
were saying just at the time, I mean, they're just trying to get graders out of the factory,
Yeah.
so when they brought it out, they fully put it on. But I mean, as long as Foley will stand behind that and
Yeah,
warranty.
they did. So. and the
Like
guy was
their
actually pretty
levy
good
or
at
what
it,
they
so.
bring in
And now he
through?
got a little ways
What
away.
they, I mean, he's talking, that 142
Yeah,
is what he's
Oh,
talking,
okay,
bringing in
like what they
total.
had.
But at least the damn thing worked.
He's levying around
Do
100,
you like
right,
that?
and then he's getting another 40
What
some.
taxes?
What do you call it, auto slip or
Taxes.
the,
I think.
I'm not sure.
The cross slope?
yeah,
Yeah.
Let me see what I
I mean, do you like that? I mean, is that a good?
Well, it's helped us set the green on those dirt roads that we did.
Yeah.
Instead of just the level, because the guys think it's one thing and then it's not.
Yeah,
And then this way, if you run one lever, it takes care of the other side. So you don't have to mess with it. It makes its own adjustment. But that was what most of our problem is with most of our dirt roads, is there is not enough crown.
okay.
So, and so far what we've done has really stayed very well, because we have, I think we've broken once on one of them on Southwest Road. Other than that, that's not too much. But, I would really like to do the curb down there by your wife's sisters.
Put crown on it or what?
No, to put some rock on it, because every time it rains, it washes,
Yeah,
banks around there, but they just raise holy hell, and I just don't think it's worth me listening to or you listening to either.
you put rock on it. If we put rock on
Yeah,
it,
he gripes about the dust.
welcome to living in the country.
I know.
I had a guy call me yesterday in Rose Valley that hit a hole on the west side of Rose Valley in his feed truck. This is a habitually slow driver also. Hit a hole in his feed truck, and the hole was so bad that it broke his battery box inside of his motor compartment and grounded his battery out against the side and incapacitated his feed truck.
Really?
Okay, if he's driving that slow and he didn't see the hole, what's the problem?
I would say the hole in the middle of the road is the problem.
Where's it at?
Well, yeah, that,
Well, I'm serious, I'll go,
No.
I mean, if there's some sort of a problem like that, I don't have a problem going and taking care of that kind of stuff.
yeah.
Because first of all, it's a danger. We don't want
Yeah.
people having accidents because something's not done.
Yeah, you know, a lot of times you get complaints about stuff, you know, pickups wearing out faster because the roads are so washboardy and this and that. And a lot of that is driver, who's driving the pickup, you know, can dictate how
Well-
quickly it.
Okay, if I find that I'm gonna be running down or driving a rough road, I find it differently.
Yeah, but should you have to do that?
Some roads are gonna wash for it. That road to the golf course has been a nightmare
It's bad
for
right now.
for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's bad right now.
Yeah, I'm sure
He
it
did,
is.
he did.
That's mainly from tractors.
He did a bunch of ditching.
Oh, it does brought up below sand.
Yeah. But that can be fixed with a bunch of rock, because you guys did it on Petty's
No, but they're
Road.
not, they're not putting enough rock on.
Yeah,
No. Yeah, when you told me he's put 900 hours on that thing, I thought, that's nuts. But I've watched him go out of town, rode it for 4 or 5 miles and then direct somewhere and then rode it back. Why are you roding it that far
Yeah.
without having to?
So, we did get there.
yes. That's the trade difference, I assume.
Yeah.
We went ahead and traded.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
They finally used them?
Our
Yeah,
used
Where at?
Don Hatton,
How many miles?
$57,000 total, I think, 22,000 miles. 2021, four-door, four-wheel drive Chevy pickup. That pickup used to be 45,000.
Well, they could buy some of the Durangos or whatever through the state. That's their business, I'm just telling you something. That's all it is FYI. So, I'm not sure what the price of anything is anymore.
Okay.
We got minutes?
Yeah. Sure, okay. Make a motion, we accept
Thanks,
the
Phil.
minutes of
Thanks,
June
Phil.
29th.
Second.
Do we need to do an executive session with Bill?
As far as budget, yeah,
Well,
pertains to his budget,
yeah,
yeah. Non-elected, 5 minutes,
yeah, let's do this and then we can adjourn.
adjourn with no action.
Yeah,
Yeah, because it won't be action.
okay.
Second.
So we have a motion, and a second to approve the minutes. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Is that basically everything?
I think that's it, no tax roll corrections, nothing else for us to do. I make a motion that we go into executive session for 5 minutes to discuss non-elected personnel, and we will adjourn after with no action.
Do we need to put in the minutes that we're going to do a
Workshop.
workshop afterwards? We'll do a budget workshop afterwards. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.